So we're working back at the command line of our Ubuntu 14.04 server, and I've moved into the etc bind directory, as you can see from my prompt. If we remember, this is the root directory for our configuration. By default, we can see that the zone files are being created within here, the .db files, or the db files rather. However, I'm going to choose to store them elsewhere, as you'll see from the configuration. When I take a look at the named.conf, let's go through cat named.conf, we can see that that just contains configuration includes rather than any data itself. When we go through and look at the options files, let's go through and look at options. I've removed the comments, but this is all of the information that was set. Critical here is the directory line. So if I refer to files by their file names only, then they're going to be created in the directory /file/cache/bind. If I take a look at that directory with ls-ld, so we're looking at the properties of the directory, and then var cache and bind, we can see that directory is owned by root, but group owned by bind. Bind is the user and group account that is used in Ubuntu for the DNS bind server. Let's go through then and add in an entry, and we're going to add it into named.conf.local. I've left this file as is, so when we look at it, we are seeing then the raw configuration that you would get, and we can see from the comments that it's expecting us then to store our local configuration or our own configuration within this file. So as we look at adding in our data, we're going to then go through and put zone, and then we can put in the zone name. So we said example.com. It's going to be an internet zone, and the brace brackets are going to define then the properties that we're putting in. We're going to define this as a master, so the read-write copy. We're going to put the file. Remember, we said we're going to put a relative path, so we're just going to call it db.example. So this file then must be created within the var cache bind directory. And don't forget the semicolons at the end of the line. We can put in a security ACL, so allow update. Remember, this was for our dynamic DNS that comes from our DHCP server. We won't be using this, so I'm just doing allow update and none. And the end of each item within our list, this could be a list of addresses, we also then put our semicolons. Close out the brace brackets and put a semicolon at the end. Similarly, when we add in the reverse lookup zone, we put the similar information, but the zone is a little bit different, as we saw from the slides. So it's the reverse of the IP address with the suffix in -addr.arpa. But with this saved, we can jump out. When we run our name-conf, we're then not getting anything reported back. We can prove though that it is checking our configuration. If we go back and re-edit the file, and let's make a simple mistake, let's leave out one of these semicolons, clear the screen, go back to checking the configuration, and we can see then that we are picking up the correct syntax check. We go back and re-edit that file, append then the semicolon, so our negative output or no output is good. So we've been able to create the configuration, but of course we've got to start creating these zone files now.